right. Holy shit. I am rushing today. Where does the time go? So this timer, I gotta bounce right at 15, guys. I'm gonna be a little late for work probably, but I didn't want to leave this till after. Still gotta read after. Um, Man, I thought I scheduled enough time for this morning. Yesterday was my bangiversary of 3 years with Cinda, and that was fun. We just hung out all day, got some food, did our workouts, all that stuff, and then banged. But yeah, then we stayed up till we took some mushrooms since I can't drink. And just stayed up and fooled around and fucked off till about 2 a.m. So didn't get up till about 10. Got some got some lunch, got some breakfast. Fuck. And yeah, it was just like getting some shit done, and then I'm like, fuck, I got a little bit of time, and then I'm like, I got to get to these workouts. My 45 minutes in the gym always ends up being like an hour 15, and I like just can't get everything done in 45 minutes. And then I'm just fucking running around, and then I do like my walk and my shower. I'm like, fuck, dude. And then how do I squeeze in eating? Like, I'm trying to gain some weight here, and it is so tough to schedule in time to eat and eat enough and eat the right food when your schedule's so stacked. So kind of figuring that out, but I'll just have to eat at work when I get there, and then eat again later and stuff. So yeah, man, today is day 9. We're almost at day 10, which would be like, I guess, almost a seventh of the way there for me. I had this thought. I was talking, so I have a couple friends doing some challenges with me. Some people are doing the 30-day challenge, just doing something every single day that they're passionate about or they've been avoiding. And then some other people doing like dry January, some people doing 75 hard. And I had a couple friends that said they fell off the wagon, and one of them, they said they just like kind of forgot and woke up and had a mimosa, and then they're just like, oh fuck, I'm supposed to be not drinking. So it wasn't even like a conscious thing. It's so habitual, which I can relate to, because there's a couple of times at work I'm just like, oh yeah, let me try this beer. I'm like, oh wait, no, I can't. And then the other one is just like, yeah, the stress of just getting everything done, like, got the best of them. And but both of them admitted to themselves, they're like, yeah, fuck, I fucked up, and it's time to get back on the wagon and start. And I came up with this metaphor I thought was pretty cool, because they always say, oh, you fell off the wagon. And I mean, if it's your first time riding on a wagon that's barreling down a extremely bumpy road with potholes and rocks and everything, like, it would be shocking if you didn't fall off the wagon. I mean, it's like, of course you're gonna fall off. You know, it's like your very first time trying to ride on this wagon that is going down the bumpy road of life. Like, life throws you curveballs constantly, and the idea that you're just going to be perfect and just stay on the wagon the whole time, like, get the fuck out of here. So yeah, of course you're gonna fall off, and then what you have to do, like, to get good at anything is to keep practicing it. You know, as you get back on, you might fall off again, but you're like, okay, I'm figuring out how to balance. I'm figuring out how to look ahead and spot for potholes. I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna shift. So you hunker down and you're ready for that shake and rattle, and you're able to weather those, you know, those bumps in the road. But that takes fucking practice, and the only way to practice is to get back on the wagon, because if you just fall off the wagon and you're like, ah, fuck, I can't do it, well, then you're never going to get better at it. And the same is true of like any skill set, obviously. The same is true of, you know, think about like I mean, you probably don't remember the first time you rode a bike when you're a kid. You know, it's just like, of course you're not going to get up the first time. Of course you're not going to have impeccable balance the first time. And I just thought that was a pretty cool metaphor, especially since we already use the term fall off the wagon. Yeah, it seems very silly that we beat each other, or beat ourselves up over fucking failing some like thing that of course we're gonna fail at for a good while. I mean, I think the only reason I am so far sticking to it is because I've practiced like time and time again on these stints of no drinking. I mean, I started here and there with just like, okay, I'm going to take a week. I'm going to take a week off drinking and not drink. And the first few times I did that, I failed. I'm like, dude, I can't even make it a week. Are you fucking kidding me right now? And so I just feel that we are so hard on ourselves on that when in reality we should be proud of ourselves for the try, and then we just need to make sure that we don't see that as a failure or like a long-term failure. We see it as a learning lesson. Like, hey, what did I do wrong? Let me get back on and try again and see if we can't go longer. I remember like when I was in, I want to say high school, when I started really getting into soccer. Maybe it was middle school, but I remember we would all like be juggling, where you're like kicking the ball up and down. And I mean, like the first few times you do it, it's like you can get one or two and the ball just goes flying. And it's like, I mean, of course you're not just going to hit 50 in a row. It takes fucking hours and hours of like, okay, let me try practicing, and your foot gets used to how to kick the ball so it doesn't go so high and so far, and you get better at cushioning the ball if it's coming from further away, etc. So yeah, I mean, learning anything new, trying anything new can be extremely frustrating. I was just talking today about how I absolutely hate learning a new skill from zero. Like, that frustrates the fuck out of me. I love to learn, but I love to learn after I've hit a point of somewhat like proficiency. Like, that's when I start feeling like, oh, okay, I'm getting the hang of this. Then I start really loving to learn and like dive into the weeds and get better at the technicals and all that stuff. But when I first start like a new adventure, it frustrates the fuck out of me. One of the things that I want to do is I want to sign up for salsa lessons, and I have no idea how to dance. And so I have a feeling I'm going to be incredibly frustrated and incredibly just irritated at myself because I just don't have the steps. I mean, I know nothing about it. Another thing I'm doing is this, I just started this movement method course, which is hopefully to help strength and flexibility in joints and hip flexors and things like that, and try to work on, you know, some of the pain that you start to get as you get older. And I I was watching the instructor, and she's just like incredibly flexible and like bending in these contortions, and I'm like, holy shit. She's like, so all you have to do is do this, and then, you know, I try it and I get about like a tenth of the way to where she's at. And of course she's like, you're not gonna get to where I'm at the beginning, but you will. But I'm like, oh my god, I can see myself being super frustrated for a while. But I also know that that's the only way to get better at something, is to keep doing it and doing it. So, I mean, and then I also feel that the more you start learning new things, the more you get used to the feeling of being uncomfortable, which, you know, learning how to be uncomfortable is a skill set in itself. And as you learn to get to be in levels of discomfort and be in situations that make you uncomfortable, the more you get used to it, and then you're not so uncomfortable in new situations. I am definitely not there yet. I still shy away from a lot of new things sometimes, but yeah, I'm working on it. Like, dude, I've been talking about doing stand-up comedy now for a year, and I can be pretty funny at the bar. I can be pretty funny with my friends. I'm not very funny on this live video, apparently. That's going to be something I got to figure out. But I also know that I'm not going to get there without practicing talking. But I also am not going to tackle this fear of getting on stage in front of a group of people I don't know and saying jokes and being vulnerable unless I try it, and I keep avoiding it. And sometimes it's just like I fucking forget about it or forget about working on it. And sometimes I'm like, I don't have time. But in reality, it's just like I haven't made it a priority and I haven't just dipped my toe in it and jumped in. So that's on the bucket for this year. I don't know exactly how or when because I have a few of other things that are a little bit more important to me right now. But it's something I want to keep working on. If and when I move to Austin, I want to at least have a tight 5 ready so I can go start doing at some clubs down there and just fuck around and find out and see how it goes. So yeah, man, I guess my takeaways in some of this is just first off, you just gotta try it, and then second off, you're not gonna fucking win the first time, probably not the second time, probably not the first 100 times. It's just like it does take a lot of effort and just retrying it and retrying it. And I mean, you just have to think about like something that you are good at and how hard it was at the beginning and how much effort you put into that thing to get good at it. And I mean, like the level of dedication and, effort that like artists or athletes put into their craft is ungodly. I mean, it's just like they dedicate their lives to something, yet for some reason, like us everyday people think we're gonna get something on the first try. It's so silly. Yeah. Anyway, what else? Today I gotta go talk to a manager because one of my coworkers got into an altercation with one of the back house managers, and like back of house manager's being a dick, and my buddy was just trying to like organize the walk-in, and then he's like calling him out and making fun of him in front of like regulars and shit, and so it's just not appropriate. So I'm gonna go speak on his behalf as well to my managers, and so I'm not really looking forward to that conversation. But that's another thing I'm working on is just confrontation. Say the thing that you're meaning to say. It's better to get things off your mind, off your chest. You'll feel a lot better after. Most times. I mean, sometimes, confrontation makes things worse. But in, like, the majority of times, it's better than just, like, letting it stew inside internally and, like, constantly letting it bother you. So that's another work in progress that I, over the course of my life, have had to really put some attention to, because else you never say the hard thing. You just sit there in misery while you're constantly thinking about how somebody's wronged you, or how something isn't right, or how you need to confront somebody and you can't, and that's annoying. So yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that, but I've kind of like talked it over in my head about how I want to frame the conversation, and talk about how I think he was doing the right thing, that was trying to help the rest of the bartenders, and he shouldn't be punished for that, or shouldn't be berated just because somebody else wanted something a little different. That seems so fucking silly. But yeah, like fuck, the kitchen staff like puts like a bunch of their food in the beer walk-in, and we consistently get more and more beers, and we have like so little space. When they bring the kegs in, there's just like, you have to like play my friend Hannah said, she's like, we got to play hardcore parkour just to get over the kegs and around to get some of our stuff to stock in the back. And it's like it takes like a minute or two to crawl over everything just to get like an extra supply of White Claws or something. And so all he did was rearrange things so that way like some of our most needed things were up front, and then all of this extra food and kitchen stuff that they only need once every day or two moved further back. And I guess the kitchen threw a fit about how we arrange our walk-in. So riddle me that. So this will be a little fun, I guess. Maybe I'll just have a good time with it, and I'm just gonna try to create a logical case for why the way that he arranged the walk-in makes so much more sense for the efficiency of the restaurant, and especially since it is the beer cooler, having the beer cooler set up best for the bartenders so they can get drinks out faster for this in the entire restaurant. So it does seem very logical to me. But they seem to think that they need their lettuce to prep in the morning up front because they can't take the extra minute to go to the back of our cooler. So anyway, I do got to run because I'm going to be a little late. So happy day 9, motherfuckers. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.